5 foods you should eat to lose your body weight, and which are the 5 foods you should avoid to lose your body weight. I'm gonna tell you everything in this video. Stay with me till the end of the video. Well, let's talk about it. How do we do it? Well, there is a science behind it. And what is the science behind it? Is intermittent fasting. Well, there are 2 different methods for fasting. Well, the 2 most well-known methods for the intermittent fasting are the 5-2 diet. This is where you normally eat for 5 days a week, then eat only around 500 to 600 calories on the other 2 days. The second option is time-restricted eating, where you have a long period in the day when you don't eat. With the time-restricted eating, most people choose something called 16-8 cycle. This involves not eating for 16 hours of the day, then having an 8-hour eating window. And generally, this diet form is done daily or almost daily. Intermittent fasting can help you lose body fat, as it works out to approximately a 25% total calorie deficit for the week. However, you do need to be mindful of the foods that you're eating in the fat state. If you overeat or you're eating high-calorie foods, then you won't see the weight reduction that you're looking for. So now, we know a little bit more about the 2 main practical methods of intermittent fasting. Why don't we look at 5 foods that you might want to consider incorporating into your diet? And also 5 foods to try and avoid. So for the days and time that you're not fasting, you're going to want to try and keep your diet in line. I'm going to highlight some key food groups that you might want to consider. So the first are whole grains. These come onto as starchy carbohydrates, and these will provide slow release of glucose into the bloodstream. They are also an important source of fiber, vitamins, and minerals. And examples of these are oats, whole grain bread, whole grain pasta, as well as brown rice. Now the second food group are lean meats and fish, and these are important because they are packed full of protein. And this is essential for the growth and repair of muscles and tissues. The best kinds are lean meats such as skinless chicken and low-fat turkey. White fish such as haddock or cod are lean sources of protein. And oily fish like salmon, sardines or tuna, they are full of omega-3 fatty acids, which are important for the brain and heart health. Now the third food group to consider are dairy products, which can be a rich source of calcium, which is really important for bone health, but you should try to choose low-fat varieties of dairy products. Things like skimmed milk and low-fat Greek yogurt. Fourth group are obviously fruits and vegetables, and these are more important because they are more important source of vitamins and minerals, as well as fibers. And finally, lentils, beans and pulses are also good because they are low in fat and they're an important source of protein, fiber, as well as vitamins and minerals. Now, those are the 5 food groups that I think you should try and incorporate into your diet. But some people will ask, well, what food should I avoid? Well, on an intermittent fasting, foods that you should avoid are things like refined carbohydrates. This means carbohydrates that have been highly processed, and they contain little of the original grain, and this is important because these foods are going to cause a rapid spike in your blood glucose levels. And these are things like white flour, white bread, white rice, white pasta. Many breakfast cereals, they are usually packed full of unrefined sugars. The next one is obviously sugar, and this includes simple sugars like table sugar, maple syrup, and also foods that contain added sugar. Things like sugary drinks, sweets, chocolate, ice creams, and biscuits. Now the other food group to try and avoid are complex animal fats. These are things like dripping and lard, and these should be avoided on a low-fat diet because they are high in saturated fat. You should also try and avoid too much red or processed meat. So meats like bacon and sausages and cow meat, these contain lots of saturated fats, and try to stick with the lean meat. And also things like cakes, pastries and biscuits, as well as pies and any convenience foods, they tend to be high in calories due to the amount of saturated fat as well as added sugar. So what are the possible side effects of an intermittent fasting? Well, some people might experience headaches and constipation, but the risk of this can be minimized by making sure you are drinking plenty of fluids on the fasting days, as well as eating plenty of vegetables and fruits again. I do want to stress that if you are considering the intermittent fasting style of dieting, then please consider this in the risk of your own personal health and medical conditions. So that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it as well as learned something new. And if you did, please remember to consider liking this video, leaving me a comment. If you've got any questions or any other thoughts, share your experiences with intermittent fasting, both positive and negative, and please subscribe my channel and stay tuned. Till then, thank you and Allah Hafiz.